All right, and welcome to tonight's chart review. Today I took one trade. And honestly, price action today was all right, but it's not what I was expecting. So if we kind of go out like where my bias was going into today, I was pretty bullish. Ooh, here I'm gonna remove all these drawings right now, but I have all the drawings kind of set out. But I was pretty bullish going into today. I was expecting buy side of the curve to get met. As you can see, we have these stacked highs on NQ. We have these stacked highs I was expecting us to kind of draw to. I was expecting that to be our draw, and we were kind of pushing above. Like in overnight, we had a kind of another sell off, and then we were rebalancing price. So I was looking to see if this inverse fair value gap right here was to get ran. And as we can see on ES, at the time, this 1 hour fair value gap at the time, the inverse fair value gap, ES was starting to break above it. So I wanted to see us break above this and then use this as inverse to then target this external buy side level. The external buy side level, when I say external buy side, I mean on a higher time frame. So like on an external time frame would be like an hour if I'm talking about like a 5-minute or 1-minute time frame. So on the higher time frame, I want us to break above this inverse fair value gap and then head to buy side all the way up here. And so kind of where we opened up, we'll kind of go into market open. So we open up around here. Then let me put on all this. So if we go into our market open, here was what I was looking at. We open up around here and then we immediately sell off. I wanted to see manipulation at these lows to then validate that we want to go higher. Because price, look at price here right now. We're just steady following bullish order flow. We're steady following bullish order flow here. There's no reason to take a long here and to target this high unless if we get some form of manipulation. So if we get like a manipulation move at the lows, which is what I was looking for, a manipulation move at the lows. Notice we have this 15-minute imbalance, and we also have this low nestled in here. So the only reason why I have this soup marked out here is because I wanted this to be the soup. I wanted to see this be this. Ooh. I want to see that become the soup for us to then target. So if it's going down the 1 minute, I was looking at this, and initially we were kind of respecting this because at the time, y'all, if we look at the sell-off that we had in the morning, ES is selling off like nothing. ES is showing so much strength here, and NQ is selling off. So the divergence between the two, like NQ has a huge sell-off. And what is this on ES? Like these, yeah, this is the 1 minute time frame on each of these. Look at NQ. Yeah, we sell off this much, and ES is not doing anything. So at the time, of course, we had an SMT at the lows. So I wanted to see any valid manipulation to go higher. And what was I primarily looking for? I was looking for this 15-minute imbalance. I want to see this low get swept, and then I wanted to see us head higher. So this was possibly the soup. It didn't end up being the soup, but this was possibly the soup on the higher time frame, such as the 15-minute. It did not end up being the soup because I needed to wait for more confirmation here. At the time, I was kind of bullish. I wanted to see us break above this 1 minute fair value gap. At the time, I was bullish because ES is showing so much strength. I know on the higher time frame that price likely wants to head towards this high here because we have now generated more liquidity here. So I wanted to see manipulation. We never really got that. And I'm not going to, you guys can go back on the live, but there is no reason to take a long here until we show that we want to be long. Until we show that we want to go long. There's no reason to take a long here until we get displacement. And that's kind of what I want to work better at is not taking a long when market tells us that we want to go long. Like the market is not telling us that we want to go higher here at all. This is just chop. And then as we can see, we're still respecting this 1 minute fair value gap. Yeah, 1 minute. To take a trade here is just stupid. There's no reason to be in a trade here. This is just chop here. We're still respecting this 1 minute fair value gap. In order to validate a trade here, there has to be at least something on the 5 minute. Like maybe a possible 5 minute break of structure to tell us that we want to go this high. But at the morning, I was expecting us to be bullish. I want to see bullish prices. Okay. So now that that's out of the way, we're expecting, again, a bearish 5-minute imbalance, a bearish 1-minute imbalance, and then we end up selling all the way down to this low. I was not expecting price to dump this hard. I was pretty bullish going into today. I just want to see a little manipulation move to then head higher. That's obviously not what happened. We obviously were just selling off. And the moment that I try to get on here, and the moment that you guys as well just try to get on here and try to predict what price is going to do without it confirming of what we want to do, that's when you will get caught up in trades that you shouldn't be in. That's when you're going to get caught up, and that's when I'm going to get caught up in trades that I should not be in. Like yesterday, I took a bad trade because I was trying to predict what price was doing. The market did not show me that we wanted to go higher. So I took a trade without market showing me that we wanted to go where we wanted to go. And I ended up getting caught up. I ended up taking a bad loss, and I ended up breaking rules. And kind of like going into here, I saw that we had an SMT, we had another SMT, we possibly could go higher. But I'm not going to take a trade until we get displacement. Until we get displacement, I do not know where the market wants to go. So we end up selling off all the way to this low. All the way to this low. Anytime at market open, and I knew this. Anytime we have a big sell-off like this, and the morning objective is met, this huge external sell side level on the higher time frame, once this is met, once we take this low, I shouldn't really be looking to take a trade. I should not be looking to really take anything. The only reason I did actually end up taking a trade here, but the only reason I took a trade here is because I am playing the internal model. Does that make sense? I am taking a trade based off a price action on a 1-minute time frame. I'm not trying to catch a huge move. I'm catching like a 30. I'm trying to catch a 30 to 40 point move. I am not all of a sudden trying to take a trade to rebalance price all the way back up here. I'm not seeing this big move after taking the sell side, and I'm not immediately going into take a long to try to catch a move to reverse this. No. Why does market move? To hunt liquidity, to rebalance to equilibrium, to rebalance to an imbalance. Notice, what is the market doing here? What are we doing here? This whole move lower. We are simply just hunting this sell side low. We're hunting this sell side level. So once the reason why the market is moving has been achieved, once we get this huge sell-off, I immediately know that I need to see some form of structure to validate that we want to go higher. And I need to see a reason of why we need to go higher. I need the market to show me a valid reason for us to go higher. Okay. So as we're looking at this big move, I mark out standard deviation. I've linked to a standard deviation video into the helpful videos tab, so I would definitely recommend watching that. But pretty much standard deviation is the last up move or down move. It is the manipulation move to then when we get the sell off. I mean, this is a valid standard deviation, and any time that we come down and we hold -2 to 2.5, I'm expecting a rebalance into equilibrium of this range. I'm expecting us, if we come down here and if we respect -2 to 2.5, we will likely, most of the time, rebalance to equilibrium. Again, why does the market move? We have now hunted liquidity. We have this big, huge leg. We have this big move down. So now what am I looking to maybe possibly capitalize off of? Again, we don't always have to be targeting a high or a low. We can also be targeting an imbalance. If you're confident in targeting an imbalance, you will have a better trade than someone who's not confident with targeting a high. Like, I can take a trade to target an imbalance. That is an okay trade. So after this big move down, I am now thinking like, hey, if we respect standard deviation here, I can expect price to probably head to equilibrium of this range. That's what I'm looking for. And notice as well, we have a SMT on the higher time frame. NQ has now all of a sudden sold off all the way to this low. Look at where this low is on NQ. Look at where it is. At the time, I had it marked here, but now it's more accurate. So now we have an SMT on the lows, at the lows on a higher time frame. So we have a reason into which we could possibly go higher here. Again, an SMT shouldn't just be, I see an SMT, so therefore I'm going to long, or therefore I'm going to short. An SMT should stack up onto things. Notice, we have taken sell side. A huge move. So within this first like 20, 30 minutes, 20, 40, 50 minutes, an hour, yeah, we have a whole hour here where we are just generating structure. A whole hour and a half. A whole hour and a half. I need to see structure to validate a trade. And here's the trade that I took. I'm kind of diving into the trade I took. At the time, if we look at NQ, or ES, sorry. If we look at ES, we're not really doing anything. We're really just chopping. This is also where I went wrong today. NQ, we're kind of bouncing up. We're respecting standard deviation. I want price to rebalance to equilibrium. And we also have this 15-minute imbalance. So in my head, we have this 15-minute imbalance here. We also have equilibrium. This is what this line is, equilibrium of this range. So I want to see price rebalance to equilibrium of this range and also into this 15-minute imbalance. Notice how we have a 15-minute imbalance that lines up perfectly with equilibrium. Again, I'm going to say this again. Why does market move? To rebalance to equilibrium, to rebalance to an imbalance, and also to hunt liquidity. When equilibrium lines up with an imbalance, it is higher probability for why we need to go there because we know why the market moves. All right? So, I then am waiting for a structure to validate something. I'm waiting for a structure to give me what I actually think that's going to happen. Right here, there's no trade. I'm simply just looking for what price is going to do. I'm thinking like, hey, are we going to rebalance to equilibrium here and then are we going to sell off? Again, I don't know what I'm looking for here. It has to be clear in order for me to look at anything. And then this is when we create equal lows and we have put a high into place. So once we create equal lows here, I'm now saying that this could possibly be a turtle soup. This could possibly be the soup. So we create equal lows. Notice we generate more liquidity. Come up, generate more liquidity. Come up, generate more liquidity. Then we are trapping traders that are trying to long this. We are trapping maybe retail traders, maybe traders that don't trade how we trade. We are trapping traders that are just trying to long this to maybe all of a sudden try to rebalance price. All this is accumulation. Classic accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Okay, so we see that we're accumulating. I want to see the turtle soup. That's exactly what we get. And if you guys want to see how I traded this, I ended up taking a loss here. I went over all of that during my trading transformation. That's not what we're going to go over. We're going to go over what happened. So once we take these equal lows, I'm expecting this to be a soup. What I did is I entered here. But I failed to realize that ES probably wants to push down lower. And we have another SMT here. ES is forming another, now have another SMT. Not only do we have a higher time frame SMT, we also have an internal SMT. And this is something that I want to get better at and I want to notice. If we have a higher time frame SMT and we have an internal SMT and we have a reason for price to move and we have a clear draw on liquidity, that is most of the time going to be an instant what you're trying to enter. If there is reason to. This is the manipulation leg lower. We're taking traders, we're taking stops here, we're taking stops. What is a turtle soup? We are deliberately pushing price lower to then reverse traders, to stop traders, to fill orders, to then push price in the opposite direction. And that's exactly what we did. So we have this move lower, this manipulation move lower, and now we have an SMT at this low. Once I see this SMT, this should be a signal to go long. Once we see this SMT, we have everything we need to. And again, I haven't talked about this yet, but we also have this 1 hour fair value gap here. We have this 1 hour fair value gap here that we are also bouncing off of. So we have reasons for price to move higher, and now we have things to line up. So I think that this was a good trade. This was a good trade. Manipulation, SMT, another SMT, price is going to run. You can put your stop at this low. Oops. You can put your stop at this low. Or you can also give your stop just a little bit of room if you think that we might push a little bit lower. I entered up here. I put my stop all the way down here initially, targeting this internal high. And then I got scared. I got greedy today. I decided I wanted to move my stop up. I was trading based off my P&L here. I took a loss today unnecessarily. And then what do? I end up getting stopped out. Market takes advantage of greedy people like me, and then we end up reversing. That's just something that I messed up with. And as well as here, this is another where standard deviation. Standard deviation is the last leg lower. It is that manipulation leg lower. And notice where standard deviation lines up with. Anytime that standard deviation lines up with a buy side projection, with this buy side level, that is good. That's added confirmation. That's where I could expect to see price go. Again, I'm not going to come into the market. I'm not going to say, hey, -2 to -2.5 is here. So therefore, I'm going to put all my conviction. I'm going to have all my conviction. I'm going to take a long here just because standard deviation lines up with the buy side. No, standard deviation is just adding a little bit extra confirmation. Okay, so we have this protected low here. The reason why this is a protected low is because it is the manipulation. Since we are manipulating here, price will not break this if we are bullish. If we are bullish here and we really want to finish this internal model, this looks very clean in my opinion. I don't know about you guys, but this looks very clean in my opinion. We have sell side of the curve. Where are we coming down to? As well as we also have another little just added little conviction is we have this huge wick. We end up holding consequent encroachment here as well. Or we kind of, I don't think we hold it exactly. But yeah, bodies never close above consequent encroachment here. Look at how well consequent encroachment of this 5-minute candle holds. That can be another little added confluence. I wouldn't say add confluence because we have consequent encroachment, but I also noticed that we did have consequent encroachment of this wick. And notice how the bodies are still respecting this. Remember, the wicks do the damage, the bodies tell the narrative. The bodies are simply respecting consequent encroachment. That's just another little added confluence you can have on this trade. So I do think that this trade was maybe not A++, but this was a good trade. I ended up actually taking it, but I got stopped out. This was just execution problems on my end. The market moved very precisely today. Very precisely today. Jeez, I keep on doing that on accident. Okay, so we have consequent encroachment that's holding up. We have another SMT. Then, this is when I get scared. We have this push up higher to then push lower to form another SMT. So not only do we have one SMT here, we have another SMT. We have 3 SMTs here. Now, something's off. Price is probably likely to reverse. What does price end up doing? Let me draw another curve here to show buy side of the curve. We end up holding this very nicely. Again, your stop should be at this low. Should be at the stop. My stop was not at that low. And then we end up, this is then when I know that I was probably right, which I end up just getting stopped out. This is another soup. Another entry offered here. You also have this fair value gap. If you're not going to enter, you also have this fair value gap. You can just enter here. You can put your stop at the low here now. Or you can put your stop at this low. You can enter to ride to buy side. Other than that, we also have, what is this? A breaker. We also have a fair value gap. We never tap into this though. But this was a breaker fair value gap that was possibly looking for us to enter. So we have a soup. We have a fair value gap here. We also have a breaker block. Okay. Then we end up finishing this model. And notice what price does here. Notice what price does here. So I have the standard deviation marked out. Notice, if we respect -2 to 2.5, what are we looking for? A retracement back into equilibrium. Where do we end up retracing to? OTE of the range. OTE of the range. So now we respect negative 2 to 2.5. What are we looking for? We're looking for OTE. I really don't think there's nothing to trade here. There's not a trade to take. So this little fair value, this is a 5-minute fair value gap. Again, we also have this breaker extended. Let me hop on the 5-minute time frame as well, just to see if I'm maybe hold up. My mouse pad fell. Okay, so we have this 5-minute fair value gap. Notice how well we respect the 5-minute fair value gap. Again, bullish PD arrays are being respected. Just because we break through this a little bit does not mean that we are disrespecting the 5-minute. Okay, and then this is when I was expecting us to still rebalance to equilibrium and also to rebalance into this 15-minute imbalance. That's what I was looking for. So now we come back up. Bullish structure. We have displacement higher out of the 15-minute fair value or 5-minute fair value gap. Sorry. And then this is when I actually posted in the Discord that I was expecting to see a soup here, a turtle soup, to then target equilibrium and then to target this 15-minute imbalance. And I actually did enter this. I ended up getting stopped out, but this technically was a turtle soup. It's not the cleanest. And notice how well we are respecting this 5-minute fair value gap. If we like literally zoom out just a little bit, maybe I was a little bit too zoomed in today, but I really don't think I was, because I had a higher time frame context and a higher time frame narrative. So then I was able to zoom down, lower in, and then find manipulation within that. So notice how well we hold this 5-minute imbalance. Hold this 5-minute balance, and then we clearly pull it to buy side. This could have also been a trade in itself. Putting your stop at the low. Good risk here. Good risk here. Just targeting this imbalance. And we're in the 5-minute. And we're also taking internal liquidity to target the 15-minute imbalance. So if you want to, you can enter here. Again, good risk to reward on this. This would have been a good trade. Just targeting the 15-minute imbalance. Targeting what you're confident in. Like, I can have confidence in targeting a 15-minute imbalance. And I will guarantee you that I will find much more success in trading what I'm confident in than someone who is not confident. Again, you shouldn't really be comparing yourself to other people. Just show up and get better. Okay. So we're holding 5-minute imbalance. We target up. This could be another trade entry. And then this. We're rejecting off of the 15-minute PD array. The 15-minute imbalance. Let's see where this is on ES. ES, at the time, I know this is little, but we have an SMT. An SMT on the 1 minute, this shows me that something might be up here. We have an SMT. And then we get displacement through a low. Through a low. We have displacement through a low. And then, once we get displacement through a low, we're creating imbalance through this low. I would not recommend entering here. I don't really see an entry here as well. This entry isn't the best, but it's something that you can kind of just be a little bit confident in. So we get displacement through a low. We pull back. I don't see an entry really here. I don't think an entry was really provided here. Let's kind of go to the 5-minute. Again, there's nothing really here. You maybe could have taken this 5-minute imbalance. Again, it kind of like there's multiple ways to trade this. There's multiple ways to trade anything. So don't think that your way of trading it is wrong. If you're confident in it, that's all that matters. You can maybe put your stop here. You can even put your stop at this high. But this in the model is a market maker sell model. Again, we have buy side of the curve. We don't always have to be targeting a high. We can also be targeting an imbalance. We target the imbalance. And then once we get displacement lower, I'm not going to go in here and I'm not going to all of a sudden expect to short this. I'm not going to expect this. But once I see that little SMT, and then once I see displacement through this low, this gives me confidence to take a short. Again, I didn't take any of this. I kind of hopped off the charts around here. I wasn't really to take anything. I took my trade. I know I made mistakes today, so I'm going to go on with the day. This is just reviewing what price action did and how we can capitalize on this stuff in the future. We have an SMT, displacement through a low. Then we could pull back. I don't really see an entry offered here. Then we pull back. We enter an order block, a fair value gap. This is the second stage redistribution, I believe. Put your stop at the high. Target the low. Good risk. This would have been a good trade. We have an order block. We have a fair value gap. And notice as well. Notice as well where we retrace to. Where do we retrace to? I always do it the wrong way. I always do it the wrong way. We also retrace into OT of this price leg. This would have been a beautiful, beautiful short. I would say beautiful, beautiful because it goes against the already existing bias. But again, that would have been a good short. But again, every entry that's offered, you don't have to take. Anytime you see any entry, you don't have to take it. Just take what you're confident in. And if you don't have confidence, build confidence in it. Build conviction. How are you going to build conviction? By seeing it happen over. How are you going to do that? Literally do what I do. The only way that I will build conviction with this and build confidence with this if I'm marking it out and if I'm seeing it happen. I didn't trade any of this. But the fact that I'm able to mark it out and the fact that I'm able to explain why this really happened is where I'll build conviction. So then we end up taking sell side here. Sell side is completed. I'm not really looking to take a trade. I would not really be looking to take a trade. But what do we have? What do we have here? We have an SMT. Notice where ES is at the time. We are nowhere near taking sell side. We are nowhere near taking this low. We have just completed a market maker sell model on NQ. But I'm not just going to take a long here just because we have an SMT. Again, SMT is just added confluence, just added conviction. Notice how, as well, we have yet to, since standard deviation has been met, and since we are respecting standard deviation, at some point, I'm expecting us to retrace or to rebalance back into equilibrium of this range. And notice, as well as that, we have this -4 target. We have the -4 target that we haven't hit yet. We don't have to hit -4. But since we know that we probably will likely rebalance into equilibrium, we've now took some form of liquidity. We have taken buyers out of the market, people that are being greedy here that want to catch a big move. Again, like there always will be greedy ass people in the market. There will always be people that are trying to catch moves like this. Always. And that's the good thing about what we do, or at least how I trade, is I am there to take advantage of the people that are trying to catch moves like this. Again, yesterday I tried to catch a move like this. And what I do, I got stopped. I got taken advantage of. I got manipulated. I got stopped out. I got stop hunted. And the times that we are greedy in the market are the times when market's just going to reverse on us. Or we're going to get stopped out. Or we're going to try to do too much. And then we're not going to trade well. We're going to trade based off our P&L. Okay. So now we have this SMT. I'm not just going to blindly trade this. I'm just going to blindly trade this. We have a breaker block here, and then we also have a fair value gap, a market structure shift, pull back to this imbalance. And again, notice, we are in the end of day macro as well. We are also within the end of day macro. End of day macro is 315 to 345. This is when we kind of just get like the last call, power hour, whatever you want to call it. But the end of day macro has, like recently, the end of day macro has been working. The end of day macro has been putting in work. And what are we doing? We're running straight to equilibrium. Not straight to, yeah, we are running straight to equilibrium. We have this breaker block. We have this imbalance. That's your unicorn setup. Notice how well we just run here. Again, we have another imbalance that you could take this. If you're not confident that we're going to run here, you can take the second imbalance, the second entry, or you could take the third imbalance to rebalance to equilibrium of this range. And notice how efficient price is here. Notice how efficient we are. We pretty much just run, and that was the price action that we had today. That was the price action that we had today in my eyes. I honestly think that today's price action was pretty decent. I think that everything that we had here kind of made sense. Everything. Notice how algorithmic the markets moved. That turtle soup hit standard deviation too. Are you talking about here? This turtle soup? Or are you talking about this turtle soup? So you're talking about this turtle soup here? Why is it so zoomed in? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good call, bro. Now Tradeabait's pulled up. I don't even know what's going on right now. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah. So this is also is anytime we have a turtle soup, it's a manipulation. Let me see. This isn't as clean in my opinion, honestly. Wait, where do you have it marked out? Do you have -2 to 5? Yeah, my opinion, this just isn't as clean. This just isn't as clean. I would probably use this low, just because it's the last leg lower before then manipulating. So, in my opinion, it doesn't look that clean. I don't like arbitrarily marking out market maker X models. It needs to come off of a higher time fair value at swing slash low. So you don't like marking them out in your chart. And notice how everything in price just kind of made sense here. Everything in price price moved in specific spots, and price was very efficient today. Or no, sorry, we were not very. Again, disregard what I just said. But after we take sell side level, anything here is probably going to be lower probability. So to take anything here, I can tell you that everyone that's trading like a 5-minute time frame today, or everyone that's looking at like the 15-minute time frame, is just going to be like, this is just chop. This is just chop. But in reality, market has reasons to move. And I thought today's price action was actually decent. Although we didn't have any red folder news, if you know how to trade this, if you are trading based off of the internal model and then trying to catch what you're confident, that's when you'll succeed. Now, like instead of randomly calling something a market maker X model, there's a basis behind it in context. Yeah. Because why are we selling here? Why is this a market maker sell model? Because we have rebalanced to the 15-minute imbalance. We have an SMT. We have displacement through a low. We're now pulling back. We're now generating liquidity on this move. Pulling back, like this isn't the cleanest, but it still ended up working out. It still ended up working out. I thought today's action was pretty clean, and I found a good trade, but I did not trade it well. And there are gonna be times when you guys mess up. There are gonna be times when we mess up as traders. Like especially if you're new to this. And then you go on social media, you see other people winning, or maybe even in this Discord, you see other people succeeding. Like that should not be the mentality that you have. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. It's you versus not you versus you, but it's your own unique journey. Focus on getting better every single day. Like I have this Discord. You guys see me. I am posting my chart annotations. I am annotating my chart. I am looking for why did the market move today, and that's kind of what these sessions are. Why did the market do what it did today? Where can I go in to the next day and try to capitalize off of why market moved? Did market move out of sorts today? Did it do something I did not expect it to? And that's kind of what we're gonna go into right now. I want to go over bias going into tomorrow. I want to go into bias. So that was today's action. I thought it was decent. Again, nothing crazy. Again, nothing like absolutely out of this world. Nothing like very efficient. But I thought it was decent action, especially on the lower time frames. Like you can say I'm a little bit too zoomed in when I take trades, but we didn't really have a higher time frame bias. Like this whole move is really just chop. So days like this to when we have this huge sell-off. Look at this huge sell-off. And you go into today and try to catch a big move today. You try to catch like a 30-point move today. Or not a 30-point, but like a 100-point move today. Although it can happen, it's just lower probability. Although it can happen, there's no reason to try to come into the market today and try to catch this move. The reason why you can trade this, or the best ways to trade this, is based off of like internal structure, internal action. But I thought today was decent. So anyways, so going into tomorrow. Do we have any? I think we do have news actually. Yeah, tomorrow we actually do have news. Keep in mind Friday the market's closed, so we won't be trading Friday. Like there's nothing to trade Friday. I will not be live trading Friday. I might do a chart review Friday. I don't know. I don't think it's even worth it. We'll probably do one Saturday, but we're definitely doing one every trading day. So going into tomorrow, here's what I'm kind of looking at. We just had this unpredictable move. If we're able to look at the charts right now, nothing looks clear. This does not look clear to me as a trader. I'm going to get the best setups. I'm going to get the best trades when price looks clear. When I know that we want to go here. When I think that once the higher time frame, such as the 1 hour, 4 hour, maybe 15-minute, looks clear, and I can call out, I can say, hey, we're clearly generating liquidity here, and we're clearly in a market maker buy model. We're clearly going to run up to price here. That is when I'll get the best trades, but when nothing looks clear on the higher time frames, that's when things won't look as clear. So going into tomorrow, as of right now, nothing looks super clear. We kind of have this 1 hour imbalance. It's 1 hour imbalance. I would like to see us break out of this and then still hunt buy side. We still have these equal highs. But I do want to bring up ES here. We now have an SMT at the lows. And ES has now taken buy side. So we now have an SMT at the highs, and we now have an SMT at the lows. Friday is a bank holiday, or Friday the market is closed. So therefore, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that going into tomorrow, it's fair to say that we're going to get the best, we're going to get good high quality setups? Tomorrow is going to be a good trading day. No. Recognize what we are doing. Recognize what the chart is doing. We have an SMT at the lows and we have an SMT at the highs. If that does not tell you something, then I don't know what will. Tomorrow, I am trading on the demo account. There is no reason for me to trade on the live account, regardless of what the overnight session does. The overnight session can look very clear. We can get clear action in London session. I will be trading on the demo account. I will not be trading on the live account, no matter what. There is no reason to go into tomorrow to loosen my conviction and to over risk, over leverage because of market conditions. There's no reason to do it. Don't trade on your live account tomorrow. Or if you are trading on your live account, make sure it is a good trade and make sure there's a reason for market to move. But you got to realize the conditions that we are having right now are not favorable. We have an SMT at the lows. We have an SMT at the highs. We are within this range. We now have taken sell side here. We just had a huge pump. Again, my bias going in tomorrow all depends on what we do in the overnight session. But I will be looking for potentially, us to start to respect bullish PD arrays and maybe be bullish. But it all depends. Nothing looks clear to me. I have to see how we open up tomorrow. I'm not gonna come on here and say I have a clearly depicted bias. I'm expecting this to happen in the overnight session. No. I'm going to wait for the overnight session to do what the overnight session has to do. And tomorrow, I will not be trading on a live account, and I don't think that you guys should be as well. Notice what the conditions are. Notice what price is doing right now. Do you think we really should be trading this as trader? There will always be more opportunity within the market, so don't think you are missing out. Don't think that just because you're not trading tomorrow, you're not improving as a trader. No. Stepping out, stepping away. Maybe don't even look at the charts tomorrow. You're not going to miss out on anything, bro. The market's still going to move. Even if there was an opportunity, okay, cool. Journal it. But I can tell you tomorrow probably won't be the best. We probably won't have the cleanest price action. Who knows? It could be the cleanest that you've ever seen. But all I know is when I expect to have low probability action, low probability, granted, it still are times when we can have high probability action. But the times when we have suspected low probability action, there's no reason to force anything. There's no reason to force anything that's not there. Because what are we just doing? We're just ruining our conviction. We're just depleting our account. We're possibly taking unnecessary losses. And, okay, say you go into tomorrow. Or say you do anything. And say you're going into tomorrow with the thought on making money. We have the potential of going into tomorrow. And we have the potential of making money. We know there's going to be low probability conditions. Okay, say a trade ends up working out for you tomorrow. Say a trade you go in tomorrow, it ends up working out for you. Will that really do anything for you in the long run? Will it? Because you take a win tomorrow, do you think that will really do anything good for you and productive for you? I do not think so, because you are rewarding yourself for a bad habit. The best thing to avoid bad habits, the best way to avoid temptation, the best way to avoid these demons in trading, because yes, they are. There are going to be demons. There are going to be times when you want to take a trade, when you're going to be enticed to take a trade, but you should not be in that trade whatsoever. The best way to avoid these temptations is to literally not trade at all. I will be on live tomorrow, and I will be trading live on the demo account to kind of just forward test price action. There's no reason I should be trading on my live account tomorrow. And again, it all depends on what price action does tomorrow. But I can tell we have an SMT at the high, we have ST at low. We're not really correlating here. NQ and ES are correlating assets, and we're not correlating, so something's up. So I know going into tomorrow, I'm probably not going to get a high probability setup. I'm likely not. And although something can play out, although something could pan out for you, although you could make money, why would you even want to, bro? You're just going to do yourself a disservice in the long run. Think about it. Like I keep on saying, how long do you want to be a trader for? How long do you want to be a trader for? A day? A week? A month? I can tell you I want to be a trader for at least 10 to 15 years. At least. At the bare minimum. So tomorrow is just a blimp in your career. Tomorrow is just a speck in your career. Zoom out, just like the charts. Zoom out. And notice what your career is looking like. Tomorrow does not have a substantial impact on your career unless if you let it. Let's say you go into tomorrow. You make a mistake. You know that you shouldn't have traded. Then, what do? You start to second guess yourself. You start to lose conviction. Why did I even trade that today? I should have not. I knew that conditions were probably not going to be there. Again, you're just doubting yourself. You're just showing yourself a lack of discipline. I can tell you, the people, the traders with lack of discipline are the ones that are going to end up blowing their accounts, and they could be the traders you see on social media, bro. They could be. They could be. But all I can tell you guys, and all I can say for myself is, I will be trading on a demo account tomorrow. 100%. We have an SMT at the highs. We have an SMT at the lows. Like, there's literally no correlation in the assets right now. I'm going to get the best trades. I'm going to get probable trades when things correlate. I can tell you with the action that we had today, with how we have been acting recently, again, tomorrow the market is closed as well. We're like, as a trader, this is not the best time to be in right now. Market's closed tomorrow, and then today I'm saying that I'm not going to trade. Boo hoo. I'm not looking to make money for 2 days. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's literally not worth it. Anytime you think about doing it, ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth losing my conviction? Is it worth forcing something that isn't there? Is it worth it? Think about it. Is it worth it? Ask yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. Is it worth trading today? And who knows? We could have some clear understanding of price action going into tomorrow. We could. It kind of all depends. Like, say overnight session really shapes out, and overnight session, the chart just gets depicted a whole different angle, and then price action just looks a lot clearer. Then I'll update you guys. But for right now, all I can say is that my bias going tomorrow is likely not going to be to trade it. To likely not do it. You're doing yourself a disservice to try and trade it. Okay, that's all I really have for the chart review. I'm really excited for these. I'm excited for what these are going to be in the future. Like, again, I'm only going to grow as a trader. I'm only going to grow as a trader. These are only going to get better. Like, think about it. If I am on my shit right now when I'm not profitable, if I'm on here giving my exact details and explain to myself of how the market moves, like, I don't care if anyone watches this. I don't. What do you think is going to happen when I'm going to become profitable? I'm naturally going to be able to explain what price is doing a lot better. And I know that I'm going to become profitable faster if I'm able to understand why the market is moving. And the only way that I will truly understand how the market moves if I explain to myself of truly how the market moves. I love doing this. I'm never going to stop doing this. With that being said, I appreciate you guys. I thank you guys so much. Like, just the support that I've gotten recently has been insane. And I'm not stopping. I'm not giving up. No matter what, no matter the situation, no matter the outcome, I will not be looking to give up anytime soon, because why would I give up? I'm doing myself a disservice to put all this hard work and then to try to give up. Anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully you guys understand the risk that we are putting on the table every single day. Again, I didn't accept the risk I put on the table today. I'm not perfect. I'm not human. I'll be the first to tell you guys I made a mistake. I will always say that I made a mistake. I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to push it on the rug. I'm not going to say that I didn't make a mistake when I truly did. But anyways, enough of me yapping. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your night.